Welcome back. I'm joined by Championship correspondent Pascal Lemaire to review Saturday's match between Millwall and Watford. Pascal, start with the away side. Really good win over Middlesbrough last time out, but still not in the top two.
Well, yeah, they went top of the table briefly, but then with Bournemouth and Norwich both winning their games, unsurprisingly, they both had pretty easy home games later on in the day. You know, Watford dropped back to third. You know, they're level on points with Norwich. Norwich got the better goal difference. Bournemouth 1 point above them, and then Borough, 1 point behind that. It's just 2 points separating the top four. It's still so close up there, but it was a big game for Watford, and their record against other sides in the sort of top eight have been very poor this season. They've drawn with Derby on Good Friday, and then before the international break lost at home to Ipswich. I think the only side they've beaten in the top eight this whole season have been Brentford. So for them to do that to Middlesbrough was very impressive, because Borough, one of the hardest sides to break down, and it was a good performance, and they certainly deserved the win. They didn't allow Borough much in attack. Patrick Bamford had a very quiet game in attack for Borough, and Watford, their strikers is by far the most potent front three in the league. You've got Deeney, I think he scored a goal. It's 20 goals this season. He's the first player in Watford history to have 3 straight 20-goal seasons. So it just shows how consistent he is at this level. And it was a good finish from him. Jonathan Wood gave it the mistake to allow him to get the ball, and then Igalo with a just fantastic goal to make it 2-0. The way he sort of just took it, a great turn and fired it into the top corner. Brilliant goal from him. Keeping a clean sheet as well, always bonus for them. And like I said, there's only a point. It's only goal difference. Keeping them out of the top two at the moment. So certainly it is disappointing to see yourself the number 3 next to their name when they were first, earlier on that day. But yeah, you look at their run and you think, I personally think they will win the league. I think they're going to outscore anyone they play in the rest of the season. This is a pretty tough game away at Millwall, obviously fighting for their lives down at the bottom. The next game after this is another away game at Forest, but Forest playoff chances are pretty much over now, so they won't have too much to play for. But then their last 3 games, all very winnable: Birmingham, Brighton, Sheffield Wednesday to finish the season. So for me at the moment, I think Watford are the favourites to go up. I think Bournemouth might falter a little bit. Norwich look really good as well, but the way Watford are playing in those 3 strikers, I just think they'll outscore anyone. And you've got Guediora as well, who's a fantastic loan player from Crystal Palace. His pass on Good Friday for Odion Igalo, their equaliser, was one of the passes of the season in any league. I think the way it was perfectly weighted, and then he also set up Deeney for the goal against Middlesbrough. He's looking like a class player. With him behind those front 3, I just really think they'll outscore anyone.
Moving on to Millwall, obviously didn't play on Monday, played on Friday. Neil Harris got his first win against Charlton. Yeah,
massive win for them. First win in 9, and it does just give them a little bit of hope of staying up. They're still 7 points off safety, but like you say, they didn't play on Easter Monday because they're supposed to play Blackburn, who have got their FA Cup replay with Liverpool. So they've got a game in hand, 7 points off safety, so it could be 4 if they win that game in hand. And there's still a chance. You look at Rotherham, they did beat Brighton, but they've lost 4 of their last 5 games, Rotherham, so they're faltering a bit. Fulham don't look great, and yeah, you have to say Millwall, they look like the one side. If it's going to be, obviously Blackpool are now relegated, so it's going to be them or Wigan if one does get out of it. But Wigan sack Mackay now, Gary Caldwell, I'm not sure about that appointment. Wigan have fallen off recently. They've been poor of late. You have to say Millwall, it was a very impressive win on Good Friday, 2-1 over Charlton, who had been, I think it was 7 wins in 9 games going into that game, and Charlton been, I think, the form team in the whole league. So for Millwall to beat them, and it was the manner of the victory as well. They've often, haven't delivered at home, but they were losing to Charlton, and then 2 late goals, Maguette Gay and then Jos Højveld coming up with the goods late on. So it's a very important win for them. And yeah, they're still, like I said, 7 points off safety. It's still a long way to go, but it's a tiny bit of hope. Personally, I can't see either Millwall or Wigan getting out, but it's just too big a gap to claw back. Millwall, they've got 6 games left, but Wigan only 5. It's just not long enough, and I think there's just not the quality there to win enough games at the end of the season. So there's a chance, but I can't personally see them getting out of it.
It's a big game at both ends of the table. What's your score prediction for this one?
Yeah, Millwall's defence this season hasn't been great, especially at home. They've had some really poor results at home. I remember Middlesbrough went there and scored 5 against them, and Middlesbrough, they're hardly the most potent attacking team. They're more based on their defensive abilities. So I think Watford could run riot a bit here. I think Millwall could make it a bit difficult, but Watford, they should ease to a victory here. I think 3-1.
Sports, I'm going for a 3-1 Watford win.